So on Sunday, a memorial service for Charlie Kirk was held in Arizona at the State Farm Stadium. It was packed to the rafters. These were people that came out because they were just like, I can't express to you just how big of a thing this was if to folks on the right hand side of the political spectrum, that this voice was silenced for his political speech. I know that some people are like, well, I don't like him anyway. He said this, that, or the other thing. That's not the point. The broader point is that a political assassination because of your free speech should never happen, whether you're on the left or the right. So I just trying to get a sense of this. I was Googling or actually using some AI to ask, like, so who's a comparable figure on the left that if this assassination happened, it would resonate the same way to folks on the left hand side of the political spectrum. That came back with Bernie Sanders or AOC or Professor Gates from Harvard. Now, Charlie Kirk's not Professor Gates. He's not an elected official, but that's the impact that this had to those on the right-hand side of the political spectrum. I can't drive that point hard enough that this really was shocking to them. Now, a lot want revenge, and that's part of the narrative here. And then there's dueling narratives that I want to show you here. So let me show you this first. Charlie Kirk Memorial Service honors conservative activists, drawing in huge crowd. Memorial service for conservative activist and Turning Point USA founder Charlie Kirk was held Sunday, State Farm Stadium. Speakers included President Trump, Vice President J.D. Vance, Kirk's widow, as well as other prominent conservatives. There were two like Air Force One and other flights full of White House staff there, or White House, I shouldn't say White House staff, prominent U.S. officials that were flown there for this memorial service. State Farm Stadium can seat more than 63,000 people, and I'm sure it was it was on Fox News. I'm sure it was watched across the country by conservatives. Kirk, 31, was shot and killed on September 10th, as you know, by this 22-year-old suspect at the Utah Valley University. Okay, so there's these dueling narratives here. So some are painting this as see how it was just laying the foundation to do these things to the left to get revenge on their enemies, or here we see, and that could be, I mean, people could use it for that, which would be terribly wrong, exactly the opposite of what Kirk would have been preaching. Okay, Stephen Miller's speech, this little commentary is talking about Stephen Miller's speech at Charlie Kirk's memorial was essentially plagiarized. See if you can spot the similarities. So he's quoting "The Storm is Coming" by Joseph Goebbels. Now, I read Goebbels' diaries in my master's thesis, so I'm well acquainted with Goebbels. But I'm going to read these quotes from Goebbels, and then we'll watch Miller talk. And then you tell me if you see similarities or if you see there's nothing to see here or whatever else. "The Storm is Coming" by Joseph Goebbels, 1932. So our dead comrade Horst Wessel wrote, and we are fulfilling his prophecy. The others may lie, slander, pour their scorn on us. Their political days are numbered. They promised you workers, citizens, and creative Germans, a Reich of freedom and beauty and dignity. People rise up and storm, break loose. You are the witnesses, the builders, the wheelbearers of our idea and our worldview. Or Weltanschauung is the term for worldview. The people have awakened. We have risen against oppression. 15 million people have joined an army of revenge. You, men, women, comrades, are the bearers, witnesses, builders, and finishers of this unique people's uprising. We have served the truth and only the truth for 12 years. They have insulted and outlawed and slandered and persecuted us. Okay, now with that, having heard that, let's hear what Stephen Miller actually said at the funeral or the memorial service, and see is that comparable enough that you can make the claim that he was plagiarizing Goebbels, or just what?
"The storm whispers to the warrior that you cannot withstand my strength, and the warrior whispers back, I am the storm. Erica is the storm. We are the storm, and our enemies cannot comprehend our strength, our determination, our resolve, our passion. Our lineage and our legacy hails back to Athens, to Rome, to Philadelphia, to Monticello. Our ancestors built the city.
You know, Athens is Rome. Philadelphia is where the Constitutional Convention was being held. Monticello was the home of Thomas Jefferson, the writer of the Declaration, or chief writer of the Declaration, and third president.
They produced the art and architecture. They built the industry. Erica stands on the shoulders of thousands of years of warriors, of women who raised up families, raised up city, raised up industry, raised up civilization, who pulled us out of the caves and the darkness into the light. The light will defeat the dark. We will prevail over the forces of wickedness and evil. They cannot imagine what they have awakened. They cannot conceive of the army that they have arisen in all of us. Because we stand for what is good, what is virtuous, what is noble. And to those trying to incite violence against us, those trying to foment hatred against us, what do you have? You have nothing. You are nothing. You are wickedness, you are jealousy, you are envy, you are hatred. You are nothing. You can build nothing. You can produce nothing. You can create nothing. We are the ones who build. We are the ones who create. We are the ones who lift up humanity. You thought you could kill Charlie Kirk? You have made him immortal. You have immortalized Charlie Kirk. And now millions will carry on his legacy.
Okay, so I'm without comment, I'm not going to say, but you tell me if you heard these lines from Goebbels, or if this is just somebody saying something that isn't really there. I also heard plenty of biblical allusions, at least 3 biblical allusions, not quotes, but kind of near quotes from there. But the broader picture is that people are, whether they're there at the funeral as he is or elsewhere, trying to use this tragedy for their political agenda, and I find that somewhat distasteful and frustrating. Now, at the same time, we saw this. The widow of Charlie Kirk forgave his killer. Trump did not. At the memorial service for slain conservative activist Charlie Kirk, his wife Erica said that she forgives the shooter. According to her, Charlie wanted to save young people like the one who took his life and left the world without regrets. U.S. President Donald Trump, who delivered a closing speech, said he was a missionary with a noble and great purpose. He did not hate his opponents. On this, I disagreed with him. I hate my opponents. I'll show you both of these clips here very quickly. Here's Erica.
On the cross, our Savior said, Father, forgive them, for they not know what they do.
If you missed what she said on the cross, our Savior said, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. She said, I forgive him. They're talking about the guy that shot her husband and killed him. And that's a hard thing to do. I don't think this is acting. I think she's actually like, you can't really do something like that easily in your own strength. I mean, this has got to be like God helping you do this, because that's not natural. Okay, here's Trump on the other side.
With a
quite natural.
Noble spirit and a great, great purpose. He did not hate his opponents. He wanted the best for them. That's where I disagreed with Charlie. I hate my opponent, and I don't want the best for them. I'm sorry. I am sorry, Erica. But now Erica can talk to me and the whole group, and maybe they can convince me that that's not right, but I can't stand my opponent.
Yeah. So Trump is saying, I hate my opponents. I wouldn't be forgiving them. Okay. So that's what was happening there. So Erica Kirk, saying that young man, I forgave him. I mean, that's something. Like, again, I don't think you can do that in your own power. You need God's help to do that. Michael McFaul posted this, offering forgiveness for the assassin who took her husband. Wow. Respect, Miss Erica Kirk. So there we are. That speech, though, reminded me of Dwight Schrute on The Office, or the idea that he would have been giving that narrative when somebody was saying Goebbels. And now, not what he said. You tell me what you thought about that. I'm not trying to bias you one way or another. Did he replicate Goebbels or not? But there was this episode of The Office, the U.S. TV show, where this character Dwight is being convinced by another character named Jim that, hey, you're giving the salesman speech. Well, here's some great lines, and he swiped it right off of Mussolini or something, and he's saying, "Salesmen of Eastern Pennsylvania, unite! We have nothing to lose but our chains." That kind of thing. But I don't know whether that was what was actually happening. You tell me what you think. But I'll leave you with this. I think on all sides, people are trying to grab the narrative. Here's Kirill Dmitriev talking about Charlie Kirk and Charlie Kirk and Charlie Kirk because the Russians are trying to cozy up to the MAGA base, trying to get more political support. And it's distasteful on one side with Miller trying to do this at a memorial service, which, I mean, it's just like have some respect for what just happened. And it's even more distasteful seeing Kirill Dmitriev do this on the other side. All right. That's all that I have for you, my friends. Let me give my shout out. My shout out here goes out to James Wilson, a graduate Patreon member. Thank you, James, for your support. And thank you to the rest of you for your comments. I really am interested to see what you have to say about this. If you're not familiar with me, if you're here because you just saw this Charlie Kirk thing, I normally talk about Ukraine and Russia and geopolitics. And so if this was at all interesting to you, please consider subscribing. Thank you for the time, the likes, the shares, and the subscribes. And thank you for being the kind of person that cares about Ukraine and the world that we live in.